Billy here. Been watching this poor old guy over on the other bench. He's having problems with pigeons. Everybody has problems with pigeons. It's too many people feed them. They're flying rats, if you ask me. I wouldn't feed them. Strange thing. This morning I went to a little coffee house that had the sidewalk tables. Got me some coffee and a little hot bun. Sat out there. There's a woman, a couple of women, and a babushka and a bunch of kids sitting at a table across from me. They decided to throw their crumbs for the pigeons to eat, but they threw them right at me. They're throwing them at the bottom of my table and on my table, and I'm getting mobbed by pigeons flying around. What the hell are you doing? Stop it! But they're just no self-awareness at all. You don't like animals? I was tempted to break off a bunch of crumbs and throw on their table and see how they like being mobbed by pigeons, but no clue. That goes on a lot here. This poor guy, the pigeons are flying up in his face and pecking at his feet and everything because they're used to getting fed at that park bench, apparently. Probably some old babushka that goes there that looks kind of like him. I don't know if pigeons are that smart, but oh, he's jumping up and kicking at them every once in a while to run them off. Don't blame him. Flying rats. There's something around here. Lots of stray dogs. And like Sevastopol, most of them have ear tags. They've been neutered. But you go down like to the bus station or someplace there's a lot of traffic. There's a grocery store and there's all kinds of various places you can go into. They lay right in front of the doorway. There'll be 5 or 6 of fat dogs, the fattest dogs you ever seen, and they're laying right in front of the door. You got to step over them. You got to step around them to get in, because these old women go in there and they see the doggies and they buy something for them and they go out and give them little treats, and they're so fat they can't even move, and they're laying right in front of the doorway, so you have to step over them. It's kind of a nuisance, but that's okay, because what's the matter? Don't you love animals? It's a hell of a life for them, isn't it? Something about women's political sensibilities and economic sensibilities. Over here especially. They're always feeding pigeons and feeding stray dogs, to the point where the dogs get so fat they can't even walk, and they're just laying right in the way. And there's swarms of them. And you go out and unwrap something, you know, from a cafe, and pigeons mob you. They're flying all over. God. Perfect analogy to the welfare state. It's not sustainable, and it's not good for the people that or the animals that you're supposedly helping. These dogs have been neutered, and they're getting free food just handed to them and put in their mouth for them, and all they have to do is lay in front of the door of the grocery store. What a life. It's good for them, right? Man, they are fat. I'll have to do a video of that next time I go there. I'm always in a hurry when I got to go in and out of there when I'm changing buses. Try to take some time to get some footage of that, because it's amazing. It really is. Human beggars hang out there too. They're a lot less obnoxious than the dogs and the pigeons, though. They kind of sit quietly in the corner with their head down, and a little cup for you to put money in. Never seen aggressive beggars here. I got accosted by some in Moscow once, but they were, I think, Stan country people. They weren't really doing begging. They were doing more like beg manding, more like a almost strong arm robbery level stuff. What was he asked for? 60 rubles? Yeah, I think it was 60 rubles. come walking up on me real fast with a sour look on his face. Daj mi 60 rubli! Daj mi 60 rubli! It's, give me 60 rubles, give me 60 rubles. No. And he just kind of veered off, went to somebody else, shouting at them. Had another guy with him. They were big guys too for stand country people. I mean, they had the swarthy complexion and the one eyebrow, but they were big. Usually those guys are kind of small. Oh, he wanted 60 rubles for it. Anything I can think of that cost that. I don't remember what a subway ride costs. I've been using my card. It's probably that. It's probably it. You probably want to get on a subway. Because when it's cold and raining, you can just go through the gates and then you hang out there all day. Just ride around on the cars and sit on the benches and beg for money there. The cops kind of targeting stand country guys, though, in the subways in Moscow last time I was there. Every time you go through, they got this computer and they're, you know, checking out people's papers, and they're always swarthy, one eyebrow type people. Yeah, they do have a problem with them. Kind of like the U.S. does from, you know, Central Americans and Mexicans that don't come in legally. But U.S. isn't really dealing with that. They're accommodating them. Or a faction of the U.S. is. A large politically powerful faction. Nobody's coddling the people coming up from Absurdistan. Not here, not openly, because they'd be political suicide. Why isn't it political suicide in the United States? Oh, because elections are free and fair, right? Something like that. And they got a bunch of dupes that go along with them, backing them up, the virtue signal. I care about immigrants. Just like these women here care about stray dogs and pigeons. Well, that's a dangerous rant, isn't it? I need to move everything to Patreon. I've got like half my content on Patreon, and then I got busy and I haven't moved anymore. I got a few subscribers too. I feel bad. I need to move the rest of my content over there. But subscribers, I think, understand that it's open for everybody. I'm not putting a paywall up. If they want to help me, that's what the subscription's for. And God bless them. I thank them for that. But I need to be more responsible and move my content over there before it gets wiped. It automatically goes to Rumble. That gives me pause too. The only way you can get stuff on Rumble is to you can't download it direct. You have to download it from some other site like YouTube, and then it can automatically set up to download from YouTube. So I think they kind of like have to be in cahoots. I don't know. Rumble's been pretty good about not censoring, as far as I know. Patreon hasn't. But then Patreon, you actually have a legal issue there, but they blithely ignore it when you don't have money to sue them. They've blithely ignored it when people do have money to sue them. Like Vox Day and Owen Benjamin, they got millions out of them, as far as I know. They got successful lawsuits, because when somebody's paying you, that's a contract, and the provider for your platform interferes with your contract. That's tortious interference, and it's illegal. They're liable. They do it all the time because most people don't have the means to sue them, and they have some pretty expensive lawyers, and they can drag things out, and they have favorable judges and whatnot, so you got to go again and again and again and insist on your rights while the judge sits there and tells you you don't have a leg to stand on. Then the 10th time you go, well, they cave in and rule in your favor like they were supposed to begin with. That's how the system works. Needs reform, doesn't it? Oh, here's some fellows here. Hey, Scrounge, what are you doing? They're not too fat. They get some exercise. They're in the park. They're not laying in front of the grocery store. Ain't that right, buddy? Stray dogs are a tripper. I've seen some of the most beautiful Carolina dogs here. You let dogs breed indiscriminately in the wild, they always take that shape. what's called in American, I think the Kennel Society accepts them now, even though they're not a pedigree breed, is a Carolina dog. That's what results from indiscriminate breeding, and it ends up being along a certain line. I had one. I had a beautiful Carolina dog. The markings vary and the fur varies a little bit. Mine was unusual in that she had long hair and black face and black paws, meringue colored with white underneath. Good looking dog, good instincts. You'd tell her what to do. You didn't have to gesture or change your voice. You just tell her what to do and she'd do it. She'd understand and do it. I've seen some dogs here that look just like her, Carolina dogs to the nines. But then a lot of them you see where they come from, because schnauzers were real popular back in the Soviet days, and you see lots of stray dogs with the eyebrows and the beards. They look like Carolina dogs, except they have big eyebrows and fur over their eyes and a beard and kind of a squared off looking muzzle. Schnauzer. And then more recently you start seeing pit features, because pit bulls got to be a thing around here too. And you start seeing the dogs with the triangular eyes and the wide head and it's strays. It's interesting. They get to be that big of a nuisance in Sevastopol. They round them up and haul them off to another part of town. But here they just let it go. Well, anyway, that's it about dogs and immigration in the welfare state, I guess. And pigeons. I think they're flying rats. Uncle Bildy, signing out.